on Facebook.
Yeah,
Countdown.
yeah.
Waiting on people to get there, huh?
All right, everybody. I got it on Facebook Live. Let's go ahead and start the show. I got everybody on. Hey, everybody listening on the Outdoor Call Radio app. Are you ready to start the show? I am. Let's get going. I need to move this over here. 1, 2, 3, and let's go. Let's light this thing.
Calling all stations. Clear the air lanes. Clear all air lanes for the big broadcast. It's good to know people come and go. It's good to know people come and go. Where their lives go.
All right, welcome to this week's edition of the Buck Talk Radio. First edition, first show. We're going to have a good one for you. We got a special guest for you. I'll tell you about here in a minute. We're doing double audio today, so thanks to everybody listening on the Outdoor Call Radio Network app. And if you're listening on the app, don't go anywhere when we end the show. So just we're going to have an after a way to tell you. We got a lot to do. I want to thank a couple people real quick. I want to thank our fine friends at Woodhaven Custom Calls. They are one of the contributing partners and the official grunt call, deer call of Buck Talk Radio. So thanks to all the gang over there at Woodhaven Custom Calls. I also want to thank the fine folks at Windscent. And where are my notes? Did I get my notes? We got Windscent, Diamond D Outdoors, Sportsman's Warehouse, and did that not copy? Brought to you. Windscent, Pure Whitetail. I got everybody. So thanks everybody for helping us do the show this week. That's good. All right, our first guest here on Buck Talk Radio. We're going to talk Buck Talks, radio, whitetails, and all that fun stuff with Mr. Hall of Famer himself, Phillip Vanderpool. How you doing? The host of the Virtue TV. What's up, P-Bitty?
Hey, buddy, I tell you what, just hanging in there like a hair in a biscuit there. I guess I'm going to be your guinea pig, huh? First
Yeah.
one.
Well, we're doing the split audio, and this is the first time that we've ever done this. So, Andrew, can you want to get that microphone settled over there just a little bit? No, that's mine. That's 4. So is that going to go there? Yeah, that's all right. We should be good. Yeah, first time we've done split audio on Facebook live stream, Phillip. So you're my guinea pig on this one.
Okay, buddy. Well, hey, I'm looking forward to it. I'm everybody's guinea pig.
Yeah, that's I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see how it goes. So what are you doing this time of year? I know Larry and Ryan are in Kentucky hunting, or when do you start going out?
Well, I was going to go to Nebraska, and then I thought about going to Kentucky as well. But, boy, the temperatures have just been so hot, Dan. I just decided that I'd wait until I saw a cool front moving in. Then I'm going to get up and just giddy up and head somewhere. I don't know yet where.
Yeah, it's crazy. Hi Jerry, hi John. Good to see y'all. They said tell you hi, Philly.
I'll
So
tell everybody hi.
I know you're coming off a very emotional time. That was quite a deal for you to get inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yes, it was definitely the Holy Grail. And, what a way to complete, hopefully I've got a few more years in me, but what a way to complete a career, and totally surprised by the whole situation. And I'm very thankful to everybody, Gary Mason and everybody involved with the Hall of Fame, and all the other inductees, so well deserved, and I've been truly blessed with a great career and people like yourself, that are friends, and we've got a lot of them. And um, I don't know, I tell you, it's going to be hard to top that one, Dan, that's for sure. But I'll continue to try to do good and keep my head up high, and do everything I can to promote this wonderful and great sport we call hunting, our hunting heritage.
Absolutely. So let me ask you a question now. We're in early season. Missouri's going to start September 15th. Here in Iowa, we're going to have the early hunting season. John Calhoun said you deserve it, Phillip. We got the urban season starting September 15th. The guys, like I said, are in Kentucky already velvet hunting. A lot of folks
Yeah.
are out west. Josh Martin just really got a nice antelope, and I know he's chasing
Next.
muleys right now. So, I
Yep.
mean, this time of year, let's focus on the whitetails. What are you
Sure.
looking for as far as patterning and deer this time of year, Philip?
Well, obviously, deer food sources, they're still kind of in their southern summer pattern here, Dan. And I've noticed about all of my deer, believe it or not, here at home on trail cameras are out of velvet already. Seems like they're a little bit early this year to get out of velvet, but we usually lose ours pretty quick. About September 1st, the bigger deer um, seem to get out pretty quick. Now, they may be a year and a half old deer or two running around, but everything I've seen in the last week is out of velvet. You want to concentrate early, two things. You got water and you got food. And when it's hot like this, water is something to concentrate on and a food source pretty close. And, obviously where you can feed deer and stuff there, that can work to your advantage. But um, we just had a major storm last night. It knocked off a lot of acorns off the tree here. And I'm just telling you right now that the deer are going to start making a switch pretty quick. And our bear season here opens the 13th of September here in Arkansas. And the way it's looking, we got a pretty good acorn crop, and they're going to be hitting the ground pretty early, I think, just the way it's going, just because of the weather conditions.
Well, I'm glad you brought acorns up because one of the things that I know that this time of year, I get a lot of questions about people wanting to know, hey, I've been getting really good bachelor groups in on my beans,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden they're just gone. What happened? Why did they disappear? 9 times out of 10, it's because the food source changed.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
And
acorns has a lot to do with that.
well, the one thing that I've noticed over the years, and I think it's a lot because of they haven't had them in a year's time, hardly, as far as that goes. But it seems to me like acorns may be their favorite food source when they hit the ground, especially, and they haven't had them in a while. Now, once you get them, a week or so into the season and they've had some acorns, then they'll start drifting back to their original food source.
Yeah, no, you're good. I wasn't pointing at you. Andrew's over there hacking.
Okay. Okay. All right. No, no problem, man. I thought it
No,
was a deer snort.
no. He's over there hacking. He just
That's all right.
I don't have a cough button for him. Yeah,
I got you.
yeah. No, you're
But
good.
no, right now you just have to look at your food sources, and if they're starting to drop in places, and definitely acorns are something to look at. Boy, if you got a good white oak crop right now, and they're starting to fall, them deer going, that can be magnets to deer for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So I got my trusted Woodhaven Ninja Intimidator call here, and I got
Yes,
to tell you,
sir.
you got yours with you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you never leave home without it, right?
Exactly right, buddy. I don't go to the woods without it any time of the year.
So deer are so social. They're always either smelling, communicating. They're always checking in and out. A lot of folks. They kind of surprised when I tell them that deer actually scrape all year. Their activity changes as we get into the breeding season. It intensifies, but that's one of the reasons why we like getting those mock scrapes out early in June and July, just to get those deer habituated to going and checking those scrapes where we kind of want them to head. Um, that grunt call, I mean, it doesn't hurt to hit that grunt call. What do you do when you got a buck coming in and out of your area? What do you do? Do you grunt at them? Do you just watch them, or what's your go-to procedure? Or is it very deer to deer?
Well, I think, depending on where you're hunting, but if you're in a situation, Dan, in early season, and you can see the buck out there, maybe he's in a bean field or alfalfa field or something like that, and he's not going to come in, or maybe he's just cruising through the woods. You don't really have anything to lose. And the old saying goes, curiosity killed the cat. I love to hear, just, I see him out there, I want to get his attention. The first thing you want to do is get his attention. And it could be, and if he's out there 100 yards, you got to give it a little volume. And excuse me if I sound too loud because I'm pretty close to the microphone. But you just hit him and try to get his attention and let him hear it. Then watch his body language and let him tell you what to do next. And if he hear it and he turns his head, sometimes they won't look directly at you, but you can see that ear twitch or something, and you think, I think he hears it. So what I do then is just maybe hit him again, give him just a little bit, kind of see what he's going to do, if he's going to start to walk off, but then hit him again, just and get out there and get that attention. And I'll tell you, Dan, I have shot several deer over the years in early September by doing that. It may take them 20 to 30 minutes to come back around, but if he knows another buck's in the area like that, a lot of times he can't stand it. He's got to go over and check out the new guy, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Hoyt said to tell you hi. He remembers you back on your days at HS. That's where you and I
Okay.
met a long time ago.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. He said it's so hot in Virginia right now that you might want to take a bucket of water with you.
Oh boy, I tell you, that's something I can't hardly handle anymore. And especially, I was wanting to do an early season hunt with a little boy, and I didn't pursue it because 105-degree temperatures in Kansas in a ground blind, that's not going to be a good sight for me or him. So I'm going to have to wait till we get cooler temperatures to do something. But yeah, my hat's off to y'all for sitting out there and trying to tough it out on this. But man, I'm going to wait, and I hope I'm playing it smart by waiting on a cool front. And I see one coming in, then I'm going to jump in the truck and head somewhere north.
You know that's something that you and I've talked about a long time. You know, when I and as you grow in your hunting career, things
Yeah,
change. I mean, when you first start, you go out any kind of weather you can, opening day. I mean, you want to be in your stand. You're so super excited, and and what the one thing that you do by the time the hunting really starts to get good, what happens, Phillip? You're burnt out. I mean,
you
it
got to
just
be careful. Yeah, it makes it for a tough season when you have several days in a row and nothing happens, and you're spending money on gas and food and lodging or whatever, and you're not, being productive. So I'm just hanging around here, and I've been working on my food plots a little bit here and getting them all prepared and getting Rhonda some ground blinds set up for her as she didn't draw her Kansas tag this year, so she's kind of down and out. But I'm trying to get her fixed up here at home, and hopefully we'll have a decent buck or two to show up. And running my trail cameras, I'm a big trail camera guy. As you know, I've got several of them out, and I'm starting to see a change. Deer are starting to, losing their summer coats. They're starting to turn gray. All the bucks here are lost their velvet, and so it won't be. I mean, they're hitting the pure whitetail mock scrapes, Dan. That's so cool to see. I mean, that's what people don't understand. Mock scrapes, and I even put cameras on scrapes that deer use that I've never used pure whitetail on, just to see. Like in early spring, I've got video footage off trail cameras of bucks coming in all times during the year, hitting those licking branches and communicating.
yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, and I don't know about you, but I saw, I don't know, I've got about 10, 15 pictures now, bucks where we hunt that
Yes.
are out of velvet already. They're hardhorn. So, and, they definitely change their patterns or the way they do things when that velvet comes off, too, Philip.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, they get in there and they rubbing on all kinds of stuff, spending time in there just loafing. And a lot of times they'll start changing a little bit of their location, leaving that summer pattern, starting to ease into the, more of the fall pattern to where they like to establish themselves. They're checking out where the doe groups are and other bucks, and who knows what all they're doing. They're just being deer,
Yeah.
and that's the whole thing. You just got to concentrate on three things, and that's food, cover, and water.
Yeah. Steve Scarcelli said to tell you hi from up in New York. You know Steve. And our buddy Richard
Oh
Kronz
yeah,
says,
you bet. Hi, Steve, buddy.
Hey, look at the broadcast. The great Phillip Vanderpool and radio sensation Dan Young. Oh, the knowledge. Yeah, I don't know about that, Richard. And then Hoyt
Thanks,
noticed that
Richard.
here's, and then Tony Casey said to say hi too. Hi, Tony. How's it going, guys? Yeah,
Hi, Tony.
appreciate everybody tuning in. Hey,
Yeah.
Phil, I'm going to take a real quick break. You hang on. Kind of mute your microphone during the break, okay?
Okay,
You know how to
try to
mute your
do
phone.
it. Yeah, may have to pick it up and turn it because I can't see how to
Well,
mute
that's
it
all right.
on this.
Just don't say nothing then. All right,
Okay.
we'll be right. Otherwise, it's going to bleed over on the commercials. Yeah, so we'll be right back. You don't go anywhere. It's a real short break, about 3 minutes. So we'll be right back on the Outdoor Call Radio Network. Tired
Thanks
of
for
your
joining.
smelling your scent? Well, there are things you can do to help stop deer from smelling you. Pure Whitetail offers some of the finest scent elimination products in the outdoor industry. Let's talk about Pure Whitetail's Dirt Scent Eliminator Spray. When they say dirt, they mean it. Pure Whitetail's Dirt Scent Eliminator Spray will give you a layer of protection that will help you stay hidden from that deer's nose. It's one of the finest, most effective scent control sprays on the market today. So next season, let's turn the tables on Mr. Whitetail and fill more tags. It's time to get serious about controlling your scent with Pure Whitetail. Every season boils down to about 15 seconds. When it comes to the moment of truth, when you draw back, don't you want to have the confidence that your release is going to hold true and be accurate when you small batches to ensure generous, tender morsels that taste outstanding. Soldier Boy Beef Jerky offers the following flavors: sweet heat, original, maple, or pepper flavors that will satisfy you all day in the field. Soldier Boy Beef Jerky is veteran-owned and proud supporters of the Canines for Warrior Foundation. They also donate to troops that are deployed serving our country. So next time you're looking for snacks from home or on your next outdoor adventure, please remember to reach for some Soldier Boy Beef Jerky, available at Sportsman's Warehouse. Soldier Boy Beef Jerky, outstanding taste that keeps you satisfied in the field. For more information, please check us out online at www.sbjerky.com. Unmute him when you're done. All right, welcome back to Buck Talk Radio on the Outdoor Call Radio app. My guest is Mr. Phillip Vanderpool from the Virtue TV Hall of Famer extraordinaire. And yeah, I'm telling you, this is way more involved than I've been doing it the last 8 months. That's for sure. This is, Phillip, I'm glad you're a guinea pig because this is going to be crazy doing it. But I think everybody likes it. I'm getting some really good comments about seeing the guests. So,
Well,
hey,
and Dan, here's the thing, man. If we mess up on this, we can try it again. You know, don't we don't have to
oh,
worry about panicking. And it's the first time, and people understand that this is a whole different situation now. And
well, you just do
you, you,
something for
you
your.
always do such a good job. You can talk your way through anything, and you and I both know that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you just do it for a year and a half one way, and I like this because you can see who you're talking to. It's just not
Exactly.
me on there all the time. But yeah, there's definitely way more controls I got to do now. Andrew can't come over here all the time. Hey, Nick, how's it going, Nick? Aaron, good to see you. Nick and Aaron DeMace, you know those guys.
Yep, you bet. You tell them, hey,
Yeah, well, you just did.
absolutely.
Hank Milner, good to see you. Parker Miller, hi Parker, good to see you.
Hey, Parker. Yep.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about calling sequences. Now we got our Woodhaven Ninja Intimidators here. Now,
Yep.
and I like the wood the wood one, Andrew,
The Woodman.
the Woodsman.
Woodman.
I
Yep.
like that call. And
Yeah,
this is nice because you can snort wheeze with it, Philip. I mean, I
absolutely.
totally understand why you love this call. But that woodsman call, that's got a whole nother rasp to it. You know what I'm saying?
It's a little shorter, blockier call, and of course that natural wood gives it just it resonates a whole different sound. I mean, it's almost a what is it? A kind of a nosy type guttural sound that you get
Yeah.
out of it, man. They're awful. Totally different song. You know, you and listen. The one thing about Woodhaven calls, they probably don't promote it this way, but you can inhale or exhale on that call. And I'll tell you why I do that, because if I got one real close, I just soon to inhale as I had to. So you can't, right here, you got to turn it over. See the difference in the sound?
Mhm.
A little louder. And then here, if you want to, I just like that subtle little, I just, and you can cup it if you don't like it. I mean, I don't think it matters to a deer a whole lot, but you can change the sound up just by cupping your hand around and get a different tone altogether. This
Absolutely.
is still my bad boy right here
I
because I
know,
can get so loud with it.
well, no,
And
and
if I want to reach out there,
Larry Mack says the same thing. He said, as far as a call, this thing it projects better than any other call he's ever used. I mean,
exactly.
yeah.
It
So,
hasn't never froze up on me either, Dan. Even in the cold weather temps
well,
by using it.
yeah, there's other calls we can't say that about. We won't say anything, but I've had that happen several times. Need to say hi to Bill King. Well, he said to tell you hi, Philip,
All
and
right. Well, hi, hey, buddy.
David. David, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. John Calhoun, love the Woodhaven Woodsman call, and you too, Dan. Bill, thank you, buddy. They always say hi to you first. I don't know why. I'm so much prettier, you know.
Oh yeah, I look at you shining like a diamond in a goat's butt.
I hate to say it, but we're getting old, man. I'm telling you,
Oh
it's not. It's just driving me nuts.
well, when I stop and think about it, and I say this a lot, but time is something we can't get back, so we just have to do the best with what we got going forward.
There's a lot of truth to that, and I'll be 60. You're a little bit older than I am, but you just don't
63.
you don't know how many more hunts you got. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. You never know, Dan. And I'll tell you what, I've lost a lot of friends this year alone. People that I knew and went to school with, and grown up with, and friends and neighbors. It's tough. And I seeing more of that as older we get. We see more of that, especially people our age, and it makes you stop and think. And man, I don't know about you, but I want to be ready with the good Lord when it's all said and done.
Yeah. Well, we try to do that every day as much as we can, right?
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
100%.
Jenny said something the other day. She goes, "I always hate it when you tell the dog you're going to be right back because I dread the day you don't come back." And it's like, what are you planning something? You know?
Ugh, that's
Yeah,
scary.
but she's right. How many times have people said, "Hey, I'll see you when I get back," and then that's it.
Yeah, I know. That's a hard one to bite off and chew. But
Well, that's the
we just
reason I'm saying that is because it's leading into my next one, and that's tree stand setups this time of year. You gotta wear, folks. Don't get mad at me, but I'm sorry. Philip and I both have lost a ton of friends from falling out of a tree stand without wearing a safety vest or a safety line. And I just don't want to hear about any of my buddies dying anymore because, I mean, Philip, that I get mad when I hear it because that's such a preventable thing.
well, and Dan, as we've gotten older, we started out, we didn't know any better, but now that you have a choice, you not only have yourself to worry about, you got grandkids and your wife or kids or family, people that care about you. And man alive, you're really messing with your whole family when something like that happens to you. And I know sometimes I don't like to wear a safety system sometimes just because of the way it feels on me and stuff, but I always do, Dan. I try to remember that and go back to the simple fact. I guess that's one reason I ground blind hunt so much anymore. And then, of course, ladder stands, it's pretty easy to get up there and get set up in, and get strapped in good with a hunter safety system. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, setups this time of year. I know I always try to tell people what works best for me, and I try to preface it that way because I mean I've been hunting 35, almost 36 years, but I'm never going to know, and I won't never know everything. I learn something every time you, Larry, and I go out. But you want
Oh,
to this
for
time of
sure.
year, in my humble opinion, you want to get in between that bedding and the food, or that bedding and the water, especially when it's warm. You want to get in those transitional areas.
Yeah, and hopefully you can get in there close enough to where they're bedded to get them in the daylight. That's the whole key because they're not moving a whole lot right now if they got that food right there.
Yeah.
So you just have to be as quiet as you can. That'd be my suggestion. Get in and get set up and be as quiet as you can and play the wind the best of your ability. And then, just be subtle about it. I mean, because deer aren't near as alert like they are after the leaves fall and you get closer into the rut, and they've been hunted a little bit and started to be pressured, and then they're getting all the food sources out. That's when you see deer make that big change. And right now, you can get away with a little bit unless it's a big old mature rascal that's been hunted a few times and stuff there. But for the most part, you can make things happen early season and get away with it.
Absolutely. All right. So, what other setups do you like to do this time of year? If the trees, you can't get into a trees, but I mean a lot of crops are up. I know you're a big supporter of ground blind hunting, right?
Well, I do, and I like the simple fact of a lot of the safety issue, and then if you've got a rain coming and things like that, I'll go sit throughout that rain because, in my opinion, the best time to shoot an old sad daddy buck is when you have that weather change and it's been raining. You want to be in that ground blind or tree stand, and you want to be in that as soon as it quits. And I see it so many times on my trail camera. As soon as that rain quits, them deer are right in there on their feet, and it's that's where you when you want to be in there. So I do like the ground blind hunting, and I do a lot of self video, and so it really helps me out to get away with a little bit of movement and things like that.
Yeah.
So I do. I really like a good ground blind setup. It don't have to. It can be a homemade ground blind setup. I love to go into a place and kind of build something and use your natural cover. I think there's nothing any better, especially when you find that spot. That's where I need to be right here. There's the sign. And then, you can play the wind and get set up and maybe take you a little stool or something to be comfortable on. But tell you what, Dan, you can make it happen a lot of times that way.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to embarrass you, but I think you and Larry are probably two of the best at that doing that I know of. I mean, just I'll use that prime example of the place out of Donovan's in Kansas, up on the other side of Haines. You know that rock, that
Oh, yeah.
bluff, and you guys got in there, and you even took your DSD buck decoy in there, and you were tucked in
Oh, yeah.
super tight. But I mean, you had a lot of action in that, just going in there and building that natural ground blind. I mean, you guys helped me out with that little spot in Iowa. I went in there to that cedar tree and I tucked in there and built a blind. I like it because it's more open. You can see more, you know?
You bet. I do. I agree. I
Yeah.
like ground level too. The deer being ground level, man. You take a big, a big old, 160-inch buck, man. He walks in, he's ground level. He gonna make the hair stand up on your back.
Well, you just need to make sure you got something where you're not getting silhouetted or they
Oh
can't
yeah.
see you coming in behind. Just make sure you got good back cover. Hey, this time of year, what are you doing? I know we both love Pure Whitetail and Winsent units from Winsent and Pure Whitetail products. I like that sanctuary. I've always done pretty well with that. That we get into the decoys. I like using my Winsett unit. I know you do too, or you actually do. You guys, I mean, you and Larry, I mean, you guys, it looks like a Skittle bag inside your deer decoys with all those different
Yeah,
colored
we pack everything.
dust bottles.
Yep. Oh yeah. I do. I love the dust and of course using the bedded up and the premium buck power dust is two of my very favorites to coincide with my decoy. And then of course if you're getting in closer to the rut, then go something that has uh, more of a real hot dough smell,
Yeah.
if you
Well,
will.
and
Golden Esther.
Winston's got pure whitetail stuff too. They got cash,
Yeah.
which is nice, and then they have. I don't know if you can see it, but I got my white lightning shirt on. I love that white lightning as we get
Yeah.
into the when the does are getting into
You
estrus
betcha.
time. That white lightning's awesome.
Yeah, it is, and I like it both in the dust or the liquid. That's the cool thing about it. You got the choice, whatever you want to use, and they
Yeah.
both are very effective.
Yeah. Well, and you can run. I like taking them and running in that Winston 2.0 unit, and I can set that
Oh
up.
yeah,
I can set that cartridge to go off every minute or every 3 minutes, whatever I like. But
right.
I mean, you're putting a ton of scent out in your area with it if
Yeah,
employ both of those strategies.
and that wind scent, the way it's designed, boy. I mean, they'll smell that from half a mile away.
Yeah.
With the wind right.
Yeah. Chris Dumont says he loves that power dust buck.
Yeah.
And he said to tell you hi and good evening too. So, I,
Tell him,
it's,
hey Chris, buddy.
yeah, he hears you. They when you tell them they hear you. You just can't see what they're writing. So,
Oh no.
this time of year, sanctuary, any kind of, a regular doe, a doe or a buck, you're not going to really booger anything. You just want to stay away from the extra stuff until we get closer to Halloween, right, Phil?
Well, I mean, I try to. It's common sense, but I'll tell you, Dan. There's something else to think about, especially when you get into that mid-October. If
Yeah.
you have a really cool front move in, hey, you want to stir some bucks up. That's a good time, and because a lot of times there'll be a first doe come in that mid October. There, it might be a good time to play the odds
Yeah.
and try it.
Now, how many times have you done that? Because that's honestly, I mean, I'm not saying, I mean, I would never question you. I love you and everything, but I always try to wait till that Halloween week because, if the, I mean, do you do that a lot? Are you seeing if you get a nice cold front? Are you seeing does come in early?
I try to take their temperature, Dan.
Yeah.
If, say I've got a mock scrape, something like that, I'm using a decoy. I'm gonna take the temperature a little bit because man, just think about it. They're waiting all year for that doe to be
Yeah.
ready for them. And then they smell that, and you catch it, and they're feeling a little frisky. Man, it may make the difference of eating tag soup or taking home old sad daddy.
Yeah. Well, that October 25th on, I mean, them big boys should be up there scent checking, right?
Oh yeah, they're gonna be up on their feet. They're ready from the time they lose their velvet,
Yeah.
and that testosterone level drops. Man, they're sitting on sick 'em.
Yeah. That's all right. All right. So we talked a little calling strategy. When do you start using a snort wheeze?
Well, Dan, there again, everybody says, "Oh, wait till the." I'm gonna tell you something. The two best buck fights I've ever seen has been in September after they lost their velvet,
Yeah.
and I hear deer. I'm out here a lot, so I hear deer snort wheezing year round. Okay, that's something they do all the time. They don't do it a lot, but it's the boss dog is going to let everybody else know who's boss, and that's one way he does it with the snort wheeze. And so I'm not scared to do it at any time. But now I love to see it when I got a buck that's interested, and it doesn't matter what time of year I'm out there and I've got his attention. And I don't think there's anything to lose. I may hit him with a snort wheeze because I've heard a lot of deer snort wheeze in September and October as much as I have in November. So I don't think there's a bad time to use it. Um, I'm a guy that likes to call. It's just like with turkeys. I want to try to make something happen. And if I got a visual on a buck, I'm going to take his temperature and just see what he does. But I'm telling you, if you've got especially, a lot of guys don't want to use a decoy until prime example. You were talking about Halloween.
Yeah.
I may there again. I mean, I'm just telling you that I've seen activity where a decoy, well, not in all situations. It's like calling to a turkey. It's not always going to work. A decoy is not always going to work. But if you're out there and you're trying something there, and you got there again, I'm going back to weather changes. When I see a cold front, I may decide I've got a doe decoy this year, by the way, that I'm going to be using and doing a lot of experimenting with because I've not used one much. And there again, with a snort wheeze, you got a decoy out there, and they think there's somebody else competition. I think it's going to be a great tool, and use it in conjunction with your grunting. As long as he's coming and you're coaxing him in with a grunt call, there's no sense in snort wheezing. Save that for a last resort. But there again, if you need it, it's something that you can reach out there and touch him with. It makes a difference. And this call has a really good resonating. It reach out and touch them. You can get pretty loud on that snort wheeze. They can hear it for a long ways if you want to apply the pressure there, your lungs out of your lungs, that air pressure.
Yeah, do one real quick, Phil, since I got you on here. Do a snort wheeze.
Okay, I mean, and there's lots of different ways you know of doing it, but the way this call's designed is so easy to just, and you get that little wheeze at the end of it. Them bucks,
Mm.
I can't tell you how many times they do it, and I'm not hitting it that hard. That's the kind of volume you can get out of this. Just and depending on how much pressure you want to put with your lips on it, you can get that wheeze out of it pretty good.
Okay. Donald Swain says, "Tell you hi." What's
Hi,
up,
Donald.
Don?
How are you?
Good to see you, Don. You know who that is, don't you?
Yeah,
Yep.
you bet you tell me.
And then Aaron says, the day that I shot my buck last year was October 19th. It was sleeting, and she had a buck he came in chasing a doe. There you go, Aaron.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's what I'm saying. Expect the unexpected, and always watch weather conditions. When you see a weather change and that barometer change going up, be out there. I
Okay.
mean, I mean, if you're wanting to play the odds.
All
Me, I
right.
got to be out there pretty much year round anyway.
Yeah.
And that's what's helped us, Dan, the highs and lows that we've experienced from being out there and knowing from experience what to do and when to do. And a lot of times, you know, you're just wasting your time. But you never know. A farmer may bump one or something, or somebody in there scouting the next door neighbor or something. You never know. A dog or a cow bumps one. Luck can play a big factor. So you got to be out there as much as you can.
Oh, yeah. I agree 100%. There you go. All right, Phil, it's time for the Woodhaven Custom Calls You Make the Call segment, brought to you by the fine folks over there at Woodhaven Custom Calls. So, Phil, what do you do when you see a buck traveling two different trails 2 days in a row? Do you chase or do you stay?
2 days in a row, and
Two
he's
days
on
in
the
a row,
same
you see a
trail.
buck taking a different trail than what you're on. Do you chase them or do you stay put?
Good question. I'm going to tell you what. I don't like chasing them.
Yeah,
I mean, I just tell you, it just don't never seem to work out. I think you have to stick with your original plan. That's probably what I would do now. Now, used to, I would probably chase him and try to see if I couldn't figure him out and this and that. But I think stay with the game plan. He's going to be back through there. If you haven't boogered him, now if you boogered him or, you know, blowed him out of the area, that could be one thing.
yeah.
But
Hoyt
yeah,
says
I'm
we
going to
need to
stick
come
with
and
my
hunt
plan.
Virginia. He said it's really hard hunting out there. He said
Well,
there's a
that's
lot
what
of,
I hear.
yeah.
There's a lot of big deer, though, aren't they?
Yeah, I said hard hunting in these mountains. It will put a twister on things for you. There you go.
Hey, tell
Yeah,
him I live here right in the heart of the Ozark Mountains here in Arkansas, the big mountainous part. So I can accustom to what he's saying, buddy, because I'm telling you, if you can kill a big deer here, you can just about kill one anywhere.
yeah.
That is a fact.
Kevin Dill says tell you hi, and he said great show, my friends. Thank you, Kevin. It's very kind of you, buddy. I appreciate.
Kevin, thanks, buddy. We appreciate y'all. You bet.
Yeah. All right, Phil. I think usually we keep it at 25, 29 minutes and so. I wanted to go a little. We're going to go a little longer on these Buck Talk shows, but I want to thank you for coming on. Before I let you go, though, how do you like those flex fletch veins? Those silent nights, man, aren't those nice?
They, in my opinion, for me personally, and this is not a sales talk. I mean, they ain't paying me money. Okay.
Yep.
I'm telling you right now, they're the best veins that I like. The low profile, they're so much quieter than the higher profile veins, the 2 inch veins. They're so much quieter. And I like the simple fact that they have memory. If they get bent out of shape, you can have them, they'll come right back into their natural memory the way they were designed.
Yeah.
And I really do like them.
If you miss like I do, then you don't have to worry about it. They'll come right back.
Exactly. Well, I'm just saying, man. I tell you what, our old buddy Dirk Stark turned me on to them. I've been using them about 3 years now, and I'm gonna tell you what, that's the best move I've ever made. I really
Well,
like them.
well, yeah, and actually, you and Larry and Darren Christenberry are the ones that got me on them, and I like them. Now, they are a partner of the show. I'm going to be very transparent about that. But I really love working with Pam and Dirk, and they fletch up great, and they fly really nice. I like them. So
They're fantastic. I'd highly recommend them. And I don't know if you can talk about this. I hope I ain't stepping on your toes, but those lit knocks that are made by the same company, those lit knocks that got a
yeah,
switch on them, the best lighted knocks I've ever. I'm telling you, I've never had one not come on for me. And you
well,
just and when you get it back, you just flip it off, and she's ready to go.
you know the best thing about a lighted knock, especially turkey season. If you miss a bird, you go back out the next morning. You can't find them because of the underbrush and stuff. You go out there early the next morning, and the knock's glowing right there. Boy, you can go get your arrow real quick and get in the blind. Isn't that awesome?
I'm telling you, I love to see where I hit.
Yeah,
And they do. They make a great product.
yeah. Chris said last season. He had a dandy 8 chasing a doe, 150 yards across the field. Had him interested with the ninja grunt, but he wouldn't leave the doe. Blew the snort wheeze, and the doe made a straight run right to me. That's sad. Daddy followed the script, and presented me with a 20-yard broadside shot, and
There you go.
I passed, but man, was that cool. There you go.
That's what'll happen. And the closer call, if it's during that rut like enter and he's kind of locked down with that doe, that closer call can work by just what happens. You're not going to bring the buck in so much, but the doe, you get her curiosity up, that motherly instinct kicks in. And I mean, I can't tell you how many times I drug a doe in and that buck follow, and get an opportunity. I videoed a good friend of mine. It's been a few years ago, but shooting a booner typical the first evening of her hunt. And that's exactly what he done is blew that bleak call and got that doe coming our way. And that big rascal followed and he shot him.
Yeah, there you
So
go.
it can work.
Phillip, where can people follow you, and see what you're up to?
Well, obviously Facebook and Instagram under the Virtue TV, Phillip Vanderpool. I got a private and I've got an open. I don't want to call it a professional page, but it's where people can get on there and follow along and on my own personal page there. It's an open page for anybody, and then of course the Virtue and yeah, Instagram, Facebook, and we do a little bit of TikTok too. And Tommy Allen, my buddy Tommy Allen, he does a great job with the social media and all the other guys that's helping out now. We got a few guys really helping out there, and thank you to all you guys that uh, support the Virtue TV. And we're on Pursuit Channel, we're on Carbon TV, and we're on Hunt Channel and on YouTube. So we got lots of. I want to say something real quick, by the way, Dan. Rhonda shot that big deer out there, Triple H Outfitters this year with me, and I videoed her hunt late season.
Yeah,
That made Monster Bucks 31 this year, buddy.
that's awesome.
Miss
Tell her,
Miss Rock and Rhonda made it
yeah,
with her biggest buck ever, so I'm pretty proud of that.
yeah. Give her a hug for me. That's awesome.
Yeah, I will, buddy. I think she don't act like she cares a lot about all the publicity and attention, but I think that really did make her day.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right,
It made
so
mine.
everybody, we're gonna do an real quick after deal on the app. So if you haven't downloaded the Outdoor Call Radio app, you got time to go do it. And I'm gonna say goodbye to our Facebook audience. I want to thank Imperial RV for helping us with the stream. Don't forget to check out Respect the Game TV. I know Larry Mack, Ryan, and Paul would be glad for you to do that. And Phil, we will see you soon, my friend. Thanks for doing the first show of Buck Talk tonight. I appreciate that.
Well, thank you, Dan, and I want to say thank you to all the viewers and all the friends and family out there that support us. And I want each and every one of y'all to have a safe and successful fall this year. And thank y'all, and God bless.
Well, God bless you, buddy. All right, I'll be talking with you with some good news this week. Okay,
All right, buddy.
you
Thank
know
you,
what I'm
Dan.
talking about, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna get out of here. That's gonna wrap it up for Buck Talk Radio, brought to you by the fine folks at Woodhaven Custom Calls, Diamond D Outdoors, Pure Whitetail, Winsent, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Flex Fletch Products. We'll be right back next week. Don't go anywhere. Wednesdays at 5. It's Buck Talk Radio. We'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks, guys
Thank you, Phillip.
and gals.